hurry, whoop! Die Dunkelziffer von Kindertoten durch fragwürdige Feenrituale ist höher, als Sie erwarten. Versichern Sie sich noch heute mit Ritusstop auf unserer Website www.ritusstop.de oder unter der Nummer 0761 666 Ritusstop 09. Unsere Hotline ist 24/7 besetzt.
On September 14th, 2025, a very strange post would be uploaded to the food and cooking board on 4chan that said,
"This chick was really cute. Too sad how she ended up though."
This post was remarkably weird, among other things because of its tone being out of place when compared to the other posts of this board. Not only that, but the accompanying image belongs to a young woman of the name of Felicitas Coleman, a woman who was declared missing 2 months prior to the post. Some users thought this post was some kind of joke, or that the OP somehow mistakenly posted this on the wrong board. However, not long after this, things would go from strange to outright sickening with the following post. "I'm starting to get hungry, and I wonder how her skin tastes. Her face looks like a tortilla right now, lol." The most disturbing thing about this post is the accompanying image titled tortillagirl.jpg. An uncensored image of the corpse of a young woman, with a face brutally disfigured, looking like a mass of squashed flesh. The image by itself, even with the censor bar added later on, is still very gruesome. Soon after this image was posted, the thread disappeared. This whole event surrounding this thread quickly gained notoriety, and some people created a post on the r/mystery in order to investigate the Tortilla Girl incident. As mentioned before, the thread started with a photo of a woman, identified as Felicitas Coleman, who disappeared just 2 months prior to the thread. However, the case of Felicitas Coleman gets somehow even stranger. The girl was reported as missing on July 7th to the German police. The description was the following. Missing, Felicitas Coleman. She was last seen on July 5th entering a forest located in Biberach, in the Black Forest region of Germany. Please help. When the police came to investigate the zone, some locals witnessed a young woman with similar traits wandering alone in the forest. They thought at first that she was going to venture into the forest as part of a hobby, though they recall seeing her wearing a white dress, a pink jacket, and heels. A weird choice of clothing for walking through the forest. This description matched some of the clothes seen in the photo from the thread, so it's fairly possible that the body belongs to Felicitas. However, things get even stranger when the police notice something very concerning. Felicitas Coleman does not exist. Throughout the investigation, they couldn't find any trace anywhere of someone with the name Felicitas Coleman within Germany. No papers of residence, birth certificate, not even a record of her entering the country. Her name doesn't appear in any place, whether it was a job or a school. No family members, nor friends, or anyone who could be related to her. Even the missing person flyer does not contain any kind of information about Felicitas, nor a contact or any kind of information that could identify the person who posted the flyer, who at this point is the prime suspect of the case, and who could be the same person as the one who started the thread. The only people who have seen Felicitas were the witnesses the day of her disappearance. However, nobody knew her before that moment, and no one seemed suspicious enough to be considered a potential suspect. Moreover, even at this stage, after an extensive investigation in the forest, her body was never found, and there was no sign that would suggest that the crime scene took place in that forest. After this, the police dismissed the investigation, thinking of it as a hoax, a prank, some sort of fantasy. In spite of this would not be the only weird occurrence in this story that involves missing people. The only information we have about Felicitas Coleman are these photos, her name, and her last and only time she was ever seen. And unfortunately, there is no hint of who could be the author of this photo, who is now considered the author of the crime. This story could have ended up here. However, on that same Reddit post would appear a strange but important user by the name of Pinku Akma. This user is peculiar. Their only post was a zip file that contained a bunch of folders. In the first folder, there are some images, and some of them are just like the original Tortilla Girl image. Unidentified people with their faces censored, and a visible blood splatter behind the censor bar, which may imply that these people were killed the same way as Felicitas. After a while, some investigations pointed out that these people are part of a list of disappearances in the Black Forest. The official numbers has 26 reported cases of missing people. However, according to Pinku Akma, it is estimated that the real numbers go as high as over 70 disappearances, being the Felicitas case the most recent and enigmatic among them all. The other images are rather concerning, and although in most of those images we cannot see very well, there are two people that we can distinguish. The first of them being this one. There are just 3 photos where they appear. 2 of them are lurking around someone's house, and the third one is them chasing whoever holds the camera. The second person is a little more odd, and the more you think about it, the more eerie it is. Especially when you see these photos, where this person appears to wear a pink jacket, a dress and heels, just like Felicitas before she went missing. We cannot see, however, this person's face, and it would be strange to consider Felicitas alive if she's presumed to be dead. And there's something off-putting seeing someone who's dressed as Felicitas covered in what seems to be blood. The last thing found in this zip file is an audio of a woman crying and screaming. Whoever this Pinku Akma is really impressive and concerning how much content they possess related to this Tortilla Girl rabbit hole. Maybe it is the author of the crimes, or somebody related to Felicitas that want to reveal something. But for the time being, this case, the truth behind Felicitas, the identity of the author of the thread and the identity of PingQ Agma remain as a big mystery. Maybe all of this is false, some sort of ARG or internet urban legend, a prank or a film project. Who knows? As I was editing this video, I noticed something very alarming. A new folder was added to the zip file. Inside there is an image and a text document. The photo is a completely empty pink image without any content inside. And in the text document it is written, "Only my killer is able to read the text hidden in this image."